Right.
Not to be
Yeah.
sensational, are we on the brink of World War 2.5? I don't want to do World War 3,
2.5.
but like, are we on the precipice of everything? The conflicts and bombs that happened over the weekend, this oil crisis. It seems like the world is changing politically as well in terms of leadership. Do you think if things don't get worked out diplomatically, as you talked about, that we could go into a world rumble?
Yeah. The thing is, yes, and we could talk about it with Hakeem Jeffries when he comes on. Obviously, he'll be a great person to talk about that with. But the short answer is yes. And me even being in China, getting more information about the Taiwan conflict. We could talk about that if you're interested.
We
But
have to.
there's a few places in the world that are hotbeds that could potentially drag superpowers in.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mhm.
superpowers get involved, then that's when you see a world war.
Yeah, and the timing of it, I'll be interested to see y'all thoughts on it because we really had a conversation. The timing of it, while it happened last week, it was originally, hey, we didn't support that. We told them not to. We're in the middle of discussing a nuclear deal. Then post the bombing, it's yeah, we knew that was going to happen, and we told them you
Mm-hmm.
got 60 days, and this is day 61. And so the timing of it, it feels like Trumponomics, right? Like, yo, I told him to make a deal, and then since you didn't make the deal, here's the repercussions. And if you don't make a deal soon, this can get worse.
It's an old school mob tactic. We have to be honest about the dealings, and you have to give him credit for maneuvering in the circles that he did in the 80s and 90s and making out of it. But when you make it out of those wars, we see it with 50 Cent, right? The way he carries himself in business is reflective of the traumas that he went through. I don't find the irony in it. And then we can talk about Palantir and the real Meta
Defense tech.
later. Defense tech is seemingly like the new investment that is not going anywhere, which was masterminded probably by Peter Thiel, who probably is the puppet master of the world right now that no one's talking about.
Yeah, and people listening like, well, how does this affect the market? Well, if you looked at the market on Friday, you see exactly how it affects the market. You saw every index pull back, right? Obviously, there
Absolutely.
was some rebounding today, but it definitely does, right? Geopolitical tensions, whether I'm glad you brought up the China-Taiwan potential conflict, or now what we're seeing in Iran and Israel, it affects the economy, whether you like it or not. And those
Yeah.
are the areas that we should be looking at in terms of where should we be investing in terms of conflict, not to say like, yo, there's a moral code to it, but watch those companies. Watch Palantir, how it's crossed 140. Where's the next stop for it, right? Meta did, right? We'll talk about that, but start looking at these companies, and as conflicts arise, what is their stock doing?
Yeah, Palantir probably, if they keep at this pace and if these conflicts continue to be there, they should probably hit 185 by end of the year easily. I mean, Palantir has one of the greatest runs that we've seen. And it goes back to part propaganda, but also Alex delivering on his vision and carving out a niche that was needed where Raytheon may have gotten relaxed in certain areas. Palantir and Anduril are bringing innovation to a space. And I think out of all the years that America has been in the country, has been a country, I think we've only had 19 years where we have not been in war. So there's need for it. Morally, I just didn't like the way that they was using the surveillance to maybe weaponize it against us. But from a stock perspective, that run from $22 up to 142
Oh
is one
no,
of the greatest runs I've ever seen.
it's teetering Nvidia levels,
For sure.
right?
For
It's,
sure.
it's definitely teetering there.
Yeah.
So from an investment standpoint, is it advisable to invest in Palantir or a pullback? But it will there be a pullback if this continues? That's going to be good for their stock at least.
Yeah. One thing I've learned, there's always going to be a pullback no matter what happens. I did notice there were some people who were selling off shares that was a part of the organization. I think people overhyped that a bit, but there will be room. 121.54, well, 126.30 is the area I would like to get in if I was looking to get into Palantir. I would look to build a position there, but also the broader indexes, of course. VOO, VTI, still good investments. Meta, a very good investment. given that since they've maxed out the consumer space, the only space for them to really play in now is defense tech as well. And it was smart for Zuckerberg to make up that grievance that him and Palmer had, and to build a partnerships there so that they can have some access into that defense tech world as well. So Meta's a good investment. NVIDIA, of course, OpenAI, when it becomes public. Palantir definitely is leading the pack until Anduril becomes publicly traded.
Okay.
The scary times we're in, I will not lie.
Yeah, geopolitical matters, man.
Let's pray for peace, man.
Yeah. Everybody march for no kings, but we got a monarchy running the White House.
Where were you? Where were you when it was time to rule?
For sure.
King's disease.
Right, the Mad King.